Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Want to appreciate the fact that we are, as usual, here to celebrate Prince William County's Poppies for Patriots Memorial Day ceremony. For those of you who are physically able, if you would please stand for the Joint Honor Guard, and remain standing, if you will, for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Just want to acknowledge that was Officer Miles Merwin. Thank you always for the support for special events and ceremonies. We see him often, and we thank him for his service. I want to acknowledge just some of the dignitaries who are here. Many of them just left, all of them, I think, just left the board meeting. I want to start with our Chair at Large, Yashandra Jefferson. Our Vice Chair, Victor Angry. Supervisor Tom Gordy. Supervisor George Stewart. Supervisor Kenny Bodie. Supervisor Andrea Bailey. Supervisor Jenny LaCroix. And Supervisor Yesley Vega. We also have representatives here from Congressman Vindman's office, Tanya James, if you would please stand, yes. Taraji Jenkins, yes. And Alejandra Pan. Yep. Thank you all so much for being here and for sharing in the ceremony with us today. Really want to start with, turning it over to our chair, Yashandra Jefferson.
All right, thank you, Chris. Tonight, as is our annual tradition in Prince William County, we come together to honor the brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. On this solemn day, we pause to remember those who gave their lives so that we may live in freedom and peace. On Memorial Day, we will once again wear red poppies to signify the blood our shoulders shed. This tradition stems from the poem In Flanders Fields, written by John McCrae during World War I after presiding over the funeral of a friend who died in the 1915 Second Battle of Ypres in Belgium. John saw the poppies growing over the graves at the cemetery. inspiring him to write these words. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. There is more to the poem, which is written from the point of someone who had died, imploring us to carry on the fight in their honor and for their sacrifice. That is why we gather annually in May to offer residents an opportunity to remember and honor those who gave their lives during wartime. Some of you may be asking, why do we have a community poppy well? Well, there's a story behind that as well. On November 9th, 1918, 2 days before the armistice, University of Georgia professor Moina Michael was on leave and was volunteering for the YWCA. After reading John McCrae's famous poem, she wrote one in response to his and started campaigning to sell silk poppies to remember the fallen and to raise money for their families and for disabled veterans. Moina's legacy was honored in 1948 on a red 3-cent U.S. postage stamp that called her the founder of the memorial poppy. And her words resonate as meaningfully today as they did more than a century ago. Here are a few lines from her poem, We Shall Keep the Faith. O ye who sleep in Flanders fields, sleep sweet to rise anew. We caught the torch that you threw, and holding it high we keep the faith with all who died. We cherish too the poppy red that grows on the fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the sky that the blood of heroes never dies. It is my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Jesse Citizen, the Chair-at-Large of the Prince William County Veterans Commission, to say a few words. Thank you.
And good late afternoon. I'm very thankful that we have this breeze that has come in. And for those of you that are standing, I won't be too long. I want to share with Chair Jefferson that I have several pages, but they're in 18 font. So with that, again, good evening. Chair Jefferson, members of the County Board of Supervisors, County Executive Chris Short, who is also an Army veteran, and our distinguished county guests. I also like to point out Commissioner Larry Zelliot, who serves with me on the Prince William County Veterans Commission. Larry, please raise your hand so I stand. So he's one of the fellow commissioners. Most importantly, to the active duty and veterans and Gold Star families and citizens of the Prince William County gathered here today, it is my distinct honor and opportunity to speak to you on this sacred occasion. I thank God and I thank all the veterans on whose shoulders I stood to reach this point. We stand together in the shadow of giants. I stand before you today not just as a retired Air Force veteran, but as chair of your Veterans Commission, humbled by the gravity of this ground and the stories of the men and women we honor. As a member of the Military Order of World Wars, an organization founded in 1919 by General John J. Blackjack Pershing, following the First World War, I am constantly reminded of our national motto: it is nobler to serve than to be served. I am also deeply blessed to share my life with my spouse, Dr. Marilyn Pepper Citizen, who is also a retired Air Force colonel. Navigating a military marriage and a retirement together allows us to understand the complex challenges, sacrifice, and resilient spirit of military families from multiple points of experiences. As we gather here this late afternoon in remembrance, we are reminded that Memorial Day is not only about honoring history, but about ensuring the sacrifices of those who served are never forgotten by future generations. I encourage you to reflect on the significance of the red poppy, one of the most enduring symbols of the remembrance for those who gave their lives in service to our nation. It represents the sacrifice carried by generations of Americans, including our Prince William neighbors, whose names are etched on the war memorial located back there, honoring those lost in the Great War, World War II, Korean and Vietnam War, and the long and difficult conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. We are here for the Poppies for Patriots ceremony. The poppy is a delicate flower, but its history is forged in iron. As the chair mentioned earlier, it first bloomed on the devastated battlefields of Flanders during World War I, where the earth was most scarred and the landscape was broken. The crimson poppy was the first sign of returning life. To the soldier, it became a symbol of hope, a quiet reminder that even from the absolute depths of sacrifice, beauty and liberty can still grow. As we wear these poppies today, we are wearing a collective promise that we will never let the disturbance of their sacrifice be forgotten. In Prince William County, our history is written by our neighbors. We cannot speak of service here today without honoring the late John Jenkins. John was a soldier, a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel, and a two-tour Vietnam veteran. He understood completely that the mission didn't end when you take off the uniform. For 36 years as a county supervisor, he fought for this community with the exact discipline and intensity he brought to the Army. He lived a masterpiece of dual service, defending the nation abroad and building this community at home. We also remember the recent passing in April 2026 of Captain James Francis Stallard, a retired Navy captain whose decades of leadership continue to inspire us. Whether they wore Army green or Navy blue, these men were the foundational pillars of our county. To their families and to all the families of our deceased veterans gathered here, your loved ones didn't just live in Prince William County, they defined it. Our community has a broad tradition of bringing history to light. In August 2023, as a member of the Epsilon Sigma Boule and its foundation, we partnered with Dr. Sam Hill, the former provost of the Northern Virginia Community College Woodbridge campus, alongside a host of public, private, and educational organizations. Together, we hosted a 6-day, free-to-the-public commemorative exhibit featuring the Rise Above Air Force Tuskegee Airman Red Tail Squadron P-51 Mustang aircraft and an immersive exhibit at the Manassas Regional Airport. That event brought to life the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen and the trailblazing women Air Force service pilot, acronym WASP, of World War II, honoring their courage to rise above prejudice and every obstacle. With the support of the Governor of Virginia, state delegates, county supervisors, the mayor of Manassas, law enforcement agents, and local families, we stood united to honor our surviving and falling World War II heroes. As I reflect back on those legacy exhibits and memorials surrounding us, I am reminded of the crimson thread of service in my own family. I think of my great uncle, Corporal Woodrow Goose Duhon. Uncle Goose, as we intimately called him, was a true hero, awarded 2 Purple Heart medals for his bravery and courage across the World War II and Korean War. Uncle Goose was a member of the legendary Mumford Point Marines, who, as the first African Americans to serve in the United States Marine Corps, training under harsh, segregated conditions at Camp Mumford Point from 1942 to 1949, they overcame intense prejudice and with distinct valor. He was one of the pioneers who broke the color barrier in the Marine Corps at a time when he literally had to fight for the right to wear the uniform in this country. He and his brothers in arms successfully fought 2 wars simultaneously, one against Axis tyranny abroad to save global democracy, and one against prejudice here at home to prove their work as citizens and warriors. Because women and men like the Tuskegee Airmen and the WASP, and men like Corporal Woodrow Duhan, my uncle, stood their ground, the doors of opportunity were kicked wide open. They paved a path for generations like mine to serve full, unhindered careers as an officer in the United States Air Force. Their absolute commitment to service and courage is a direct reason why our military today stands as the most diverse, inclusive, and powerful force across the world. As we conclude, let us remember that remembrance is a verb. It requires action. We honor Lieutenant Colonel John Jenkins, Captain Statler by striving to be better neighbors. We honor the names permanently etched into the stone of the Liberty Memorial by living as citizens worthy of their sacrifice. And we honor the enduring legacy of pioneers like my Uncle Goose, Woodrow Duhan, by ensuring that liberty, this memorial speaks of, belongs fully, equally, and truly to everyone. The Prince William County Veterans Commission remains unyieldingly committed to serving our living veterans and honoring our fallen heroes. But today, on this ground, our sacred duty belongs to all of us. May we leave today with the resilient, bright spirit of the poppy in our hearts, forever rooted in the soil of a free nation. To our fallen women and men, we remember you. To our veterans, we thank you. To our families, we stand with you. May God bless Prince William County, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Commissioner Citizen, and to our chair, thank you very much for your remarks. Before we close this evening, I'd like to take a moment to first thank Lake Ridge Rotary for placing the American flags that line Prince William Parkway. Can we give them a round of applause? They do it every year, and it always looks absolutely amazing coming up to McCourt. So thank you all very much. And certainly for Fire and Rescue for providing the American flag displayed here on the stage. The flag is a powerful symbol, and when we see it, we are reminded of the story it carries, a story written through courage, through sacrifice, and through service. Every fold, every stripe, and every star reminds us that freedom has never been free. It reminds us of the brave men and women who gave their lives in defense of our nation and the freedoms we hold dear. And besides the flag stands another enduring symbol, the red poppy, a symbol that lives in our hearts and certainly in our minds. Its bright red colors reminds us of the cost of preserving freedom. Together, the flag and the poppy tell the story of Memorial Day, remembering our fallen, honoring their service, and renewing our commitment to live lives worthy of their sacrifice. We are especially mindful of the 145 service members from our own community whose names are etched in the county's war memorial located behind you. These were our neighbors, these were our family members, friends, and loved ones who answered the call to serve and made the ultimate sacrifice. Today, we honor them, we honor their families, and we continue to carry their memory forward, because that is what Memorial Day is all about. remembering those heroes, honoring their service, and ensuring that their courage is never forgotten by the nation that they served and the community that they came from. Thank you all so much for being here this evening. In a moment, Donna Flory is going to play the taps. This will conclude the official ceremony. I certainly invite everyone to take part in the interactive tribute right behind you by writing the name of a loved one or someone who you know that passed in combat, or a message of support for one that you know. It will certainly be added to our poppy wall, which again you see behind you. This serves as a powerful vision and certainly a visual that reminds us of the lives and the legacies of those who served our nation and will be remembered and never forgotten. I also invite each of you to visit the War Memorial and Freedom Park and spend some time in reflection. As I mentioned earlier, this monument honors the Prince William County residents who died in combat. And finally, I invite you to take a flag with you so that we may honor and remember these brave heroes, not only today, but every day. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of your evening.